Would you prefer salary increase or extra leave days? Thank you for coming.
I'm nervous. I actually am.
I am shy.
This is the first time I'm going on a live. I'm going on Instagram live. This is the first time I'm doing a live video. Everything is first. I just couldn't say no to you.
I'm sure this is the first time you're also going to be sharing your corporate story. Thank you. My name is Ulaku Blessing. So for the purpose of this conversation, please refer to me as Ulaku. I'm sure you both know my names. Avitos meets Barisi. Barisi meets Avitos.
Nice meeting you.
So Barisi, Avitos is the HR business partner, a well-seasoned HR business partner, and my personal HR analytics coach and tutor. Yeah. Then Avitos, Barisi is a social performance manager. Anything social performance, Barisi is your go-to person. So I'm really glad to be here. Thank you everyone who has joined so far. So we'll go right into the conversation, but before then, I'd like us to play a short game. This or that, Corporate Naija edition.
Okay.
Number 1. Would you prefer salary increase or extra leave days?
Extra leave days, oh.
Where's you don't like money?
It's salary increase, bukata plenty.
That is it. That is the main point.
Thank you. Remote work or free lunch every day at the office?
Work at the office. I don't really like remote work.
Yes, I think I'll go with that. Free lunch, yes. At least you help to reduce the spending too.
Oh my God.
Yes. Good salary with a toxic boss or average salary with peace of mind?
Please, average salary with peace of mind.
Peace of mind is non-negotiable.
Okay. Strict boss that teaches you or nice boss that ignores you? Which do you prefer?
No, strict though. Strict and teaching. I beg.
And you are talking like experienced professional.
Clock it.
Office gossip or office peace?
Office peace.
Office peace, peace. I don't want any gossip anywhere.
Hey. I don't.
Work bestie or work from home forever?
Work bestie.
No. No. I don't support work from home. Like forever.
I don't work from home.
You still need that social interaction once in a while.
Okay, I know you would like this one. Promotion without pay rise or no promotion but better salary?
Better salary.
No promotion, no better salary.
Promotion, what is the game?
Promotion,
Alright. Okay, so small startup stress or big corporate wahala? Which one do you prefer? This is the final one.
Small startup stress.
Small startup stress.
Thank you so much once again for joining, and thank you to everyone who has also joined the conversation. I'm honestly excited to have you guys here. And today we are not coming to give anybody textbook career advice. We are just going to share our stories. It's basically gist, but I believe that in gist there's a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of courage to be drawn. There's a lot of comfort as well. And like I said, a lot of things are happening within the corporate walls that nobody is talking about. But when we begin to share stories, both good or bad, people are encouraged. People also know that they are not alone. So the first, we'll go in this way. When did you finish school? And after school, how did you land your first job? Did you know you were going to be doing what you're doing now? So who will go first? They say ladies first. So let's get Barisi. Barisi.
Yes.
Yesterday was the actual day of boy child. Let's allow the man start.
No, yes.
Yesterday,
Yes. Okay, happy time. Let's celebrate your day. Can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you, Ulaku, for this engagement. I know you called me last week to be on your first episode, and it's a privilege to be here, at least being one of the first. So your question now, when did I finish school? Well, long story. I finished university 2013, And between 2013 to before I landed my first job was maybe that's like 5 years. My sister kind of helped me get my first job for Zenith, then Cash and Teller. Between 2013 to 2016, okay, that was 2016 I got the job. So that was pretty much about it too.
All right, thank you for sharing. Barisi, you know, I used to call Barisi Billions. She has rich people's problems. So Barisi, how far? You got a job immediately after school, Nabi?
Yes, I wasn't even like done at the time. But just before I finished, my brother-in-law, well, he would eventually become my brother-in-law. He wasn't my brother-in-law at the time. He had just joined an agency and they were looking for people to join one of the commercial banks. And he was like, oh, you're always very smart. I write the aptitude test. If you do it, I was like, I'm going back to, and they were like, if you do it, it will be fine. I got a feedback that, oh, you were among the top 5. And so the bank is asking that you come in for an interview. And then I went for an interview, and the director at the time, when I finished the conversation with him, he just said, do you know how to do PowerPoint presentations? Do you know how to do this? And I said, yes, I do. And he was like, can you start immediately? I said, okay, how about tomorrow? And he was like, okay, go down to HR. I'll put a call to HR. I found the person that I need. And it was very, very surprising for me because I had done that whole computer training and all of that, and I enjoyed PowerPoint. And it was like 2 weeks earlier, I was having a conversation with a cousin who had said, you need to brush up on your skills in case you enter corporate and all that. So for that to have been the question that defined whether or not I took on that role, because I immediately got employed as executive assistant. When the rest of my peers along that line were being taken as tellers and all those other things. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's the leverage. I know.
I'm happy to hear you guys' stories of how you landed your first jobs. So you guys didn't have the typical Nigerian experience of staying out and hustling for 7 years before you got the job. At least you didn't apply to 100 organizations before you landed your first job. And what I want to pick out from your stories in this first part is that it's still possible to land a good job even immediately you're leaving school or even while in school. So I think we should even change the mindset that there are no jobs. Yes. People can land a good job, like a well-paying job, as soon as they're leaving school or even while in school. I like to draw from the fact that Barisi says what helped her, what gave her leverage in her job was that she had the skill of PowerPoint presentation. And I mean, she was just like every fresh graduate at the time. So the question is, there are no jobs. What skill do you have that is giving you leverage to land that job that you're looking for? So thank you for sharing your stories. So I'm going to ask the next one. Barisi, you're going first. We celebrated Avitos. So Barisi, you go first. When you finally started working, what was the first thing that shocked you about the corporate space? What was that moment to say, this is how work is? You know, did they decide to go buy this? Or did they decide to sweep the entire office?
It was a tier 1 commercial bank. Luckily, I was in the HQ, so I didn't get that experience of go and get this or whatever. And I was in a very, really solid department. I was working with an ED. But I think one thing that shocked me was how most of senior leadership and people that I met in the corporate were, they normalized working late. Like, they were not even looking at the time. If there was work to be done, everybody would just continue doing the work. Like, they are not on a timer. They are on the schedule and the timer of the task at hand, not the global clock that is ticking. So the first day, I was stylishly looking at the time, like, okay, it's almost time to close. Can we? And everybody was just chill. Like, I looked around, everybody was sitting down. I say, if I go and say I want to go home now, they'll be looking at me like, your first day, you want to? Okay. So I kept quiet. I waited a bit. Like an hour later, I was like, okay, noted. These people, which type of life do they have? And you go down the stairs and you are alone going downstairs, and you realize that people are actually still in the office. And I went home. It was very difficult for me to process.
I want you to speak more on before I move over to Avitos, I want you to speak more on the not closing at the actual time that was specified during your offer. We find it as a norm in most organizations now. On your offer letter, you have 8 to 5, right? Or 9 to 5, or whatever the case is. But most times, when you pick your bag to leave at 5, they are wondering, are you doing half day? What's the plan? There's a lot of work to be done. And we find that this new crop of professionals coming up now, joining the workspace, they don't understand it. And sometimes there's a rift as far the employer or their line managers feel like they're not taking their job seriously, while they also feel like I've done the best I could do within the work time specified. So can you speak to that, and how do you think how did you deal with that?
I think, again, it was for me to understand why those people were doing what they were doing, because it had to make sense to me. First of all, yes, everybody was doing it, but I needed it to make sense to me. And when I looked critically at a number of them, I realized that people have different times that the best of them comes out. So I realized that some people were working late because maybe they were more productive towards the tail end of the day. So it just made sense for them to do that. And then during the earlier part of the day, they were doing very skeletal work. It was justifiable, but I would not think that I had a task to do for my boss, and then I would get up when it's end of the day to say I'm going home, hello. And I just think that, especially for when you're just starting out, you want to absorb, you have to be like a sponge at that early stage, absorb as much as possible. Yes, there'll be time for you to then prune, separate the things that are not good work practices and all of that. But in the initial stages, you just want to sponge off every possible thing. And it's possible that the people that will teach you the most may not do that during the peak period of the day. Most people would do that maybe towards the tail end of the day. But I think now most people have like a false perception of what work culture should be. Oh, come in at this time and leave at this time. But if we're honest with ourselves, sometimes you would find that maybe you came in late. You probably, your employer didn't even take note of that or didn't penalize you for that. Maybe if it was a bad day, maybe 1 hour has already gone out of what was agreed. So why isn't it possible that you can add 1 hour for your employer?
What if I came in very early?
If you came in very early, it depends again. The tasks that need to be done. If you've done it, and the truth about it is, again, sometimes people are looked at in a certain way when they are leaving the office at a certain time because maybe they feel like the person hasn't really done anything. I've sat in backspaces where you hear people make remarks about, oh, this person, even if this person leaves by 2 o'clock, this person has dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's. Because the truth is, people know people who are getting the work done. If it comes down to it, people know. But if you're a newbie, I don't think your focus should be on, oh, it's 5 o'clock, let me start going home. Except maybe at the initial time of joining, there's some kind of informal conversation about, oh, I need to leave early, I live very far, I've not been able to sort out accommodation and all that. But you're just learning, you're just starting out. You want to get as much as possible from as many people as possible. That was how I learned very quickly. And like in a very short period, I was moved to more responsibilities. So I feel like, where are you hurrying off to?
It was something they prayed on the altar of fire for. And now, okay, so if I hear you, let me recap what you said. If I hear you, you're saying that if you're starting out in your career, it's advisable to spend extra hours to at least build grit, resilience, and skills on the job, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes,
then
as much as
as you advance, you can begin to strike a balance. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Because I'm going to ask you what your thoughts on that is, but I also want to add that what were your biggest early career struggles? Like, yeah, let me not give you context. Just flow. What was your biggest early career struggles?
Just to put a lighter note on what she had said, I know a lot of people sometimes, especially in Lagos, they are waiting for traffic to go down before they leave the office. That's why they are still late.
Not really that they are working hard.
It's just that they are waiting for traffic to go down. So on my own part, I think my own struggles was realizing the fact that there's that work pressure. There's that pressure when it gets to work. A lot of time we that we are into HR, we see CVs, you see somebody who write that can work under pressure. But when you see the pressure, you start caving in.
I don't add that in my CV no matter what.
You still see it nowadays when people send in their CV, especially the early entrance into the work. Yeah. So you see them, I can work on that. So for me, I could remember then I was working in the bank and interfacing with customers, cash and teller, and you can understand how the pressure of work. I will give you an instance. There was a period when I was early then, and there was this public holiday, and public holiday time. You go for 3-4 days, and by the time you come back, it's like the work that you're supposed to do that 3-4 days is piling up and is waiting for you. And you have that work done still. So you now have we who are cash and tellers interfacing with customers who are bringing in monies that they've kept from Friday, Saturday, especially all those who are working in petrol stations, those who are working in supermarket, bringing all the cash, and you have to attend to all of them. It was very crazy that at a point I was almost crying. That come on, you guys, and they will keep coming. They will keep coming. So there was a period I wanted to eat. I had to start begging them that please just give me 5 minutes. Let me go out. And you start seeing them shouting, "Hey, you don't know that you're supposed to eat before." CEO, they start climbing, they start shouting, making. I still had to wait. So sometimes I'll be on my seat working, and you have to ensure that as a teller that your money balances. Even though they are on the queue, they are shouting, they are doing it, you have to ensure that you maintain your composure. That one is there. You have to ensure that your money is correct at the end of the day, or else there's another wahala that you're going to face. So, and another thing is that by the time you get into the workplace, you know that it's all man for himself. You can't be expecting the person who is sitting next to you to be doing your own work for you, to be helping you, to be doing this or that. He has his own thing, he has his own deliverables. So, before, when you are in school, you'll be thinking, this guy is my friend, we work together, we gist together, we party. So you have that brother looking out for you, people looking out for you. But when you get to work, it's not usually the same way. Yeah. Because everybody has to deliver his own target, his own his own job at the end of the day. So you will not be thinking that somebody will leave his own and come and be helping you. So at that point, when I was attending to all the customers, people, all those ones, they were doing their own. They were also attending to their own set of customers. So everybody is for himself. So you can't just expect that one will jump, and even the CEO, who is the cash officer, that is also doing his own job, will not leave his own space to come and do your own work for you, because everybody is being paid. So you expect that you do your job the way it is. So that pressure is there. But I think the good thing about pressure is that you should be able to manage yourself. You don't allow that pressure to get to you. And it's very important that if it's something that you need to also take notes, maybe you devise a schedule for yourself that, okay, when this person is, when you have, you can develop a routine to say when customers come, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that I do to ensure that this transaction is correct, so that you don't go and mispost, or you go and, so you ensure that you check all those things and know that you are correct, so that when those things are coming, the pressure, everything is entering into your head, you won't be scattered and start doing the wrong things, you know. So you always ensure that you maintain your composure and don't allow any external influence to get into you. The customers, because I'm talking as if I was a banker, the customers will come, they will scream at you, they will say all sorts, some that are even trying to be nice. You don't even know who wants to be even defraud you as you are a teller, like that. So you have to ensure that you just maintain your composure, you understand? You do what, if at the point that you need to actually seek for help, it's usually better you call maybe your CEO, your CEO is your cash officer, or someone is your line manager. Like, okay, please, I need to just maybe give me 5 minutes. At that time, you just apologize to the people who are there, you know, just give me 2 minutes, let me just even go and take a leak, let me drink water and come back, and everything will be fine. So it's just that you just need to maintain your composure at every time. Work pressure is there. Sometimes if you leave the current position that you are, you go to another higher position, the work pressure will keep increasing. It doesn't reduce. It doesn't reduce. Even by the time you even start getting to higher positions, even maybe you are a group head, or you are intermediate or senior, the work will keep increasing. It might not be as routine, you know, all those little work. It might now be mental work. The ability to reason, the ability to be creative, the ability to delegate. So you just need to ensure that everything, you maintain your composure, you know, read wide, know or better methodologies, better strategies to handle all these kind of situations that you find yourself. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, on a lighter note, as you said, as you begin to climb up in your career, your work stops becoming more manual to more mental.